Hello and welcome to another finance chat. Welcome to this video. And today's video will be a mid-year check-in. Like we are at the end of June. Time has moved by so quickly. It won't be like a preachy or teachy video. It will literally be short and sweet and literally just be a check-in on how things are going and just for us to be laid back for anybody who's been following the series from the beginning. And let's let's see how we're doing. You can have your own introspection and just check through with the intentions that you may have set with yourself at the beginning of the year versus how far we've gone. And I'll just try and give my own perspective. Honestly, I started off the year like filled with anxiety. Like I really wanted to sort myself out. I didn't know how I was going to do it. And I had certain goals of how I want to learn how to save. I want to get to a point where I earn more income. I wanted to find other sources of income. Have I? Mid-year? No, I'm still relying on my salary and my tenant's rental income that comes in, but I'm not seeing it as, like a flop or a failure. I have learned so much more about myself and so much more about how to handle my finances, despite the fact that I may not be earning any more than I had at the beginning of the year. At least I have tried to learn how to manage what I have. There were so many things that I thought I couldn't live without with my monthly spending, my daily spending. I have gained some discipline in a lot of areas, and I just, challenge myself to do without a few things that weren't essential, and I've lived, like I've survived. I've also gradually gotten to a point where I manage the expectations of my loved ones. I'm naturally a generous person towards people who I care about, like like 1,000%. Like if I have money, like I love to splurge on people who I care about. I love to see them happy, and yes, like it breaks my own heart that I no longer have the disposable income that I used to have to be able to do that. But to a certain extent, I know when you start something and you may have maintained a certain level of generosity throughout the years, it's difficult to now cut back. So even this year, I really had to emphasize and just find the way as much as possible to manage the expectations of my loved ones. And yeah, it may have been sad on my end, and I know for others as well on the recipient's end, some like 1,000% understood. Some may have been like, are you just deciding to be cheap this year? But bottom line, like we all survived. We all survived. If people may have caught feelings, it is what it is. But even that was something that I had to learn. Like I really had to learn, and it's been great. Again, even just I will emphasize on how I have learned to live with things that I thought I otherwise couldn't live without. And like inflation keeps happening, you guys, the cost of things keeps going up. And like I said, I haven't successfully found other sources of income to supplement what I already have. But still, the fact that I've come this far and I've managed has been great. In terms of my future plans, the things that I still wanted to achieve, whether it's, gaining other sources of income, I haven't given up. I will keep trying, I will keep brainstorming, but at least a lot of that anxiety has been reduced and alleviated. Like I'm managing, like I'm finding small stepping stone solutions, even as I try and get to that, long-term destination. So, is there anything else that I wanted to add on? Like I said, this would be a super short video. I still wanted to just put something out and just emphasize on how this is like a mid-year situation. Let's look at, how far we've come. And just to recap, like I always do within this series, we started off with making a budget, like just listing down, like actually budgeting, like just having some sort of budget template to see where we stand as a rough draft. And then now we actually went ahead, spent money and tracked our expenditure. And then, hopefully we saw, where we could improve, where we're overspending, just everything, and just maintaining that momentum of always keeping track of our expenses if we're trying to learn our finances better. And then we also had a video where we talked about, bridging the gap between all this planning that we're doing and getting to where we need to be. And we just said, essentially, take small steps and keep moving forward. You may not have the capacity to make a giant leap to to your target or your goal, but taking small steps along the way was important. And then the previous video, like right before this in our series, was us learning how to save. I talked about an emergency fund. I talked about a midterm savings or investments plan, and I did mention that later on we can dive deeper into long-term planning, retirement planning. But even with the savings video, even just with me, yes, I didn't necessarily save a lot in my midterm or long-term quote unquote planning. But even my emergency fund, like as we speak, there were so many moments where I had to draw from it. I am not too like again, I'm not very very sad about it because I've told myself I will keep going, even though it's in low three figures right now. As we speak, I will keep going. Every week, whatever spare change I have, I'll keep adding on to it. If I come about certain lump sum, I will add to it and just keep going and keep that momentum and learn that discipline just to keep going, to not give up. If something comes up, yes, it happens, but you keep on saving, you keep on, thinking positively. So yes, I want to end here, short and sweet. And yes, I do hope, you enjoyed this video. I do hope if you've been coming along with me this year on this journey, you do your own introspection of what your challenges may have been, or what you may have gained, what just in terms of learning yourself, like what positives have come out, of this experience. If you're someone who actually is, achieving your goals, you're doing great with your finances, you've learned a lot and things are looking up for you, really, really happy, like really, really happy for you. And may you continue to just, move up and up and up with all your financial planning. So yes, thank you so very much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.